Welcome to the NC Spin After Spin. Additional comments from our panelists just available on the website. I want to ask each of you what you wish you had said but didn't get a chance to say on last week's show. Tom Lamprecht, I'm going to start with you.
Well, I hinted at it, but I didn't really get to expound upon the Pirates being ranked in the top 25 and their big victory over North Carolina. But, you know, it was back in 1997 that the state legislature actually had to consider mandating that Chapel Hill and State play East Carolina. And the three universities got together.
Might have to do it again.
Well, that's true. But, you know, there's been some great rivalries. Now, I don't know if Chapel Hill likes these rivalries, but East Carolina likes it quite a bit. But the amount of money, taxpayers spend a lot of money supporting the university system. And the amount of money that has stayed in this state with these rivalries is phenomenal. I mean, they're estimating that it's going to be somewhere between $5 and $10 million that came into Greenville last weekend during what was a very exciting game. So I think it makes sense for the taxpayers, and it makes for great football.
My comment to that is, Doug Clark, what do you wish you'd said?
I enjoy talking about the courts and the judicial races. We have 4 Supreme Court seats up for election, including the seat of the Chief Justice. We've seen some recently reports of some major TV ad buys by the candidates, a number of the candidates. So those ads will be joining all the other ads that we're getting so tired of.
You started to say noise, didn't you?
Well, hopefully they'll be different, but we did see back before the primary, we saw some negative attack ads that got a lot of attention, and there's a great deal of concern now in the bar associations across the state about the tone and tenor of these judicial elections and the possibility of big money coming in that could influence our courts.
For nonpartisan elections.
Well, everybody's aware of the partisan registrations of the candidates, but truly, for the most part, that does not influence what actually happens in the courtrooms in our state, much as some interests would like it to be otherwise.
Patrick Gannon, what do you wish you'd have said?
Well, when we were talking about the economy, I think one really big thing that's coming up here very soon, I think the new economic development partnership of North Carolina opens its doors in Cary on October 6th, so just a little more than a week away. And that's an untested kind of model for economic development. I mean, here at least. It's worked in some other states. It hasn't worked in other states. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding these things. I think there's been very little written about it, at least in-depth reporting about this partnership, in part because it's been difficult to get information out of them. I mean, I know people are trying, I know reporters are trying to get information out of them, but it has been difficult to get detailed information about who's giving them money, because they need seed money up front before they get the legislative appropriation of $17 million a year. So we don't know what private organizations are giving to them, what they might want in return, that kind of thing. We know very little about who's going to be working for the partnership.
How decisions are going to be made.
How transparent it's going to be.
Yeah, who got fired from the or who got let go and didn't get offered new jobs. I mean, all kinds of things and it's a huge part of economic development in North Carolina.
Good topic. Laura, what do you wish you'd said?
Legislative races, of course. Now, I agree with you that neither the Senate nor the House is expected to change parties unless something truly seismic happens, right? But what's important about this election is that there are supermajorities in both chambers, right? So basically, the governor can veto anything he wants, but he can always be overridden at the whim of the leadership. If one or the other of those chambers, particularly the Senate, loses that supermajority, that changes the entire dynamic of power between the Senate, the House, and the governor. The Senate and the governor have, had a lot of really open tension. I mean, just flat out sniping at each other at points. At some point, if they do lose that supermajority, then they can't guarantee they can override a veto. And they
should that improve the relationship, or do you think it'll make it even a bigger gulf?
Logically, it should probably improve the relationship, but this is politics. I mean, I have no idea what kind of reaction that's going to cause. But it'll also depend, I think, on who the House Republicans choose as their next speaker. I think a lot will depend on that, and in terms of that sort of the triangular relationship.
And that's going to be an interesting race.
Yes, it is.
Well, thanks for watching the After Spin. More video coming all during the week on ncspin.com.